Now at 10, residents in Lamar, Missouri present a plan to the City Council to save the Lamar Aquatic Center. Plus, authorities in Jasper County respond after an SUV crashes into a creek. And the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office plans to increase its presence this holiday weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
More than a month after the city of Lamar, Missouri began accepting bids for the removal of its aquatic center, some citizens have a plan to save it. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Tanya Bach. The Save the Pool group today presented their proposal to the City Council. They say they found a contractor who looked at the center and came up with some ideas on how to restore and reopen it.
This month we have really worked hard. We have brought in a contractor who renovates and refurbishes pools and had him look at our assets that we have left there. And his first remarks is, he says, "Why do you want to bulldoze these assets?" He says, "There's a lot of money sitting here." So tonight what we want to do is present an alternative to what the city can look to.
The center has been closed for several years due to issues including leaks, low attendance, and staffing shortages. The Carthage, Missouri City Council has set a date for an impeachment hearing for Mayor Dan Rife. City leaders will meet on June 5th at 4 p.m. to discuss the mayor's impeachment. Today, they overrode the mayor's veto to set the hearing. This comes after a months-long dispute over efforts to remove City Administrator Greg Dagnan from office. Mayor Rife opposed the efforts by council members, and now with the aid of the outside legal counsel, the council members will attempt to prove Mayor Rife has not been doing his job properly. But not all the council members seem to be on board.
People on the council too, and not everyone is feeling the same way. And I just want people to really believe and follow their hearts and do what they think is really best for the city. Is it best interest of the city to go for an impeachment hearing and all the money that that's going to cost? Is it in the best interest for us to all fight and bicker? I've said it over and over again. If we would all work as a team, this team we have here, we have a lot of good brains sitting in this room, but we're not working as a team, and we need to be working as a team.
The city has another special meeting scheduled for tomorrow at 7 p.m. and you can find more information about past council meetings and the ongoing dispute on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, we're hitting the upper to mid 50s for our highs, and that's going to be pretty consistent. We're well above average for this time of year with our lows only dropping down to the mid 60s as well. We're still not hitting any records, but we're going to keep the upper 80s kind of trend going for the next few days. We do have a cold front moving through tomorrow, but temperatures right now starting to dip down into the upper 70s. We're going to get down to the mid to upper 60s for our low tonight. We also don't have anything going on tonight. No rain. Up north, Kansas City got some rain today as well, but we stay dry until tomorrow afternoon. We've got some severe weather moving in afternoon all the way till the overnight hours, and I'll have more details for you in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Crews battle a blaze on board a train engine early Sunday morning. The call came in just after 2:45 to Cherokee County authorities. Columbus Fire Rescue joined the effort, assisting rail staff to avoid the spread of the fire to the rest of the unit. No injuries were reported. A Southeast Kansas high school graduate dies in a drowning at Big Hill Lake east of Cherryville. According to the Montgomery County Chronicle, 17-year-old Alonzo Wan died in a drowning incident at the lake on Saturday afternoon. Just hours before, Alonzo had received his diploma from Field Kindley High School in Coffeyville. A GoFundMe account has been created to help raise funds to have Alonzo's body returned to his parents in Guatemala. We have a link to Alonzo's GoFundMe account on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Authorities in Jasper County respond to reports of a car crashing into a creek. The call came in just before 8 this morning. Troopers say a westbound driver on Baseline Boulevard overcorrected and drove off the left side of the road into the Slater Branch Creek, taking out a sign and slamming into a tree. The driver of the vehicle refused medical treatment, though was later taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. Cherokee County Sheriff's Office announces a traffic enforcement campaign for Memorial Day. More deputies will be patrolling highways and secondary roads over the holiday weekend. That's thanks to the Special Traffic Enforcement Program grant. Officers involved with the seasonal campaign can track their overtime hours and contact with the public to receive extra overtime in return. According to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, patrolling deputies are keeping an eye out for drivers traveling at unsafe speeds, impaired drivers, and other traffic infractions.
The campaigns are good. They get people that are on the street to travel safely to and from where they're going, and the other motorists around them safe. It's good to have a law enforcement presence, and the statistics show that due to media and social media that people are aware of the increased patrol and people are following the traffic laws. So I believe that enforcement helps keep the roadway safer.
The campaign will continue till June 2nd. Representatives from the Cherokee County Health Department assisted residents today with information about CanCare and Medicaid. The goal for the event at the Galena City Hall was to answer questions and get eligible residents signed up for benefits.
Really, the only thing that I need for a person is for them to know their name, address, and phone number, birth date, and social security number. Other than that, I don't have to turn in any forms for them. They may ask for more forms, and that might be something we have to do afterwards, but at the time of the application, they don't need to bring that.
Future events will take place each Monday of the month with locations set up in Baxter Springs, Galena, and Weir. A natural gas company plants a big donation in support of a garden started in the memory of a beloved Carl Junction teacher. Mindy Doyle worked as a paraprofessional in the special education department at Carl Junction for 13 years before losing her battle with cancer. Mindy's garden was built last year in her memory. Today, Southern Star Central Gas Pipeline donated 100 plants to be planted in the garden. They also brought in a large group of people to plant and shape the garden.
This is the kind of support that we get within every time we go do a community event, no matter whether it's in this town or any other surrounding towns that we service. So everyone here, they're bought into this. You know, they want to give back because the next time it may be a part of their community that where we show up at.
In April, Mindy was awarded the Carl Junction Support Staff of the Year for the 2022-2023 calendar year. Patrons of the Joplin Library say hello to a couple of familiar faces. We'll have that story coming up. Plus, the creative and inspirational force behind Precious Moments passes away at the age of 85.
And with a new Toyota.
Sam Butcher, the founder and creative force behind Precious Moments artwork, has died. The company shared the news today through their Facebook page, saying in part, quote, "Although the sorrow is great, it is our prayer that the appreciation and celebration of his legacy can be even greater," end quote. According to the Precious Moments website, Butcher began drawing at an early age. The public was first introduced to the Precious Moments artwork in 1975 on greeting cards and posters. The first figurines debuted in 1978. The Precious Moments Chapel first opened its doors in 1989 in Carthage, Missouri. Sam Butcher was 85 years old. Community members are celebrating the arrival of a beloved statue at the Joplin Public Library. And nearly 1 year ago, the full bronze statue called Two Kids on a Bench was stolen from outside the library. Although the suspect in the theft was identified by Joplin police and is awaiting trial, the statue was never found. A replacement statue has officially taken its place thanks to donations from community members and the Kiwanis Club of Joplin, who donated the original.
I would see them interacting with it and their kids taking photos with it every day, but I was still just surprised about how many questions we got. And even until the bench was installed last week, we've been still getting questions.
It reminds us of communities all together, bringing cultures together.
The Kiwanis Club of Joplin is also donating insurance to help protect the new replacement statue. The next stop on the Great American Flag Swap 2024 takes place tomorrow at Jake's Fireworks in Pittsburgh at noon. People can bring in their old tattered flags to be replaced with brand new ones, courtesy of KOAM and Fox 14. The old flags will receive a proper disposal. The event always serves as a great way to give something to the community and support veterans. Well, Lindsay returns with your full forecast, and a little later, a big night for some area softball teams. John has highlights from tournament play and more coming up in sports.
This is home.
Overall, today was a pretty nice day, warm up to the upper to mid 80s across the region. But let's take a look outside. Earlier was a nice day, few clouds overall, pretty nice. We don't have any rain going on tonight. Up north in Kansas City had some rain a little bit earlier, but we stayed dry and we're going to continue that trend until tomorrow afternoon. We've got some severe weather moving through earlier in the afternoon, and then we've got a second round a little bit later in the overnight hours. So we've got a slight risk for most of our counties, southern Missouri counties, most of the counties in Kansas, and all the counties in Oklahoma and Arkansas as well. So that's just a level 2 out of 5. Now there is an elevated risk just clipping our northern counties. Nevada is in a level 3 out of 5 risk. Now there is a slight chance as well that when we get a little closer to this event, we start to see how the storms are firing up. The elevated risk could start to stretch down, maybe including Pittsburgh, maybe even Joplin. So we'll keep an eye on that. But right now, we're really only in a level 2 out of 5 threat for severe weather tomorrow. Timing would be about 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. Like I said, we've got 2 rounds of rain moving through, so it's going to prolong the severe weather event. Now, main threats, hail up to golf ball size, about 2 inches. Strong winds up to 70, maybe 75 miles per hour. So these are damaging strong winds, and that's going to be the main threat. There's the wind damage. And we also can't rule out a tornado as well, tornado or 2. So taking a look at the future track, like I said, today we stayed dry. Got some clouds moving in earlier in the afternoon on Tuesday, and a few showers pushed through earlier in the afternoon. So it's about 4 p.m. Not a severe threat with any of these showers, but if you go outside earlier in the afternoon, you start to see some rain. That's not the threat yet. That comes a little bit later. Right along the frontal boundary, you can see where the winds shift from the south and from the northwest. This is about 6 p.m. Some storms develop right along that line. Now, the cold front boundary is stagnant. It's just going to sit there, but these storms are going to continue to move, and as they do, they get a little too far away from the cold front, so they're going to fall apart and reform back along the frontal boundary. So this is what happens. It's about 8 p.m. That first line of storms pushing a little too far away from the cold front, so then the second line starts to form. Now this is coming through in the later evening hours. That'll pass through Joplin around 9-10 p.m. and it'll continue on strong to severe thunderstorms. As that pushes out, about midnight, 1 a.m., we start to see the main threat of severe weather for Tuesday has gone. We've got a few showers still sticking around in the early morning hours on Wednesday. Unfortunately, the cold front retreats in about 6 a.m. on Wednesday, and then we have more storms form on that line. Now, good thing is with those storms, it's just going to be some wind damage, maybe some localized flooding as well. And we do have an alert day set for Tuesday, and not to mention the scattered thunderstorm chances continue all the way through Saturday.
All right, well, if you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to watch our newscast live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple App Store of your choice. Just search for KOAM Plus. All right, thanks, Lindsay. Golf ball-sized hail and 82-mile-an-hour winds caused extensive damage in Kansas on Sunday. City officials in Russell say severe storms took down power poles and trees, leveling at least 3 buildings and knocking out power across the area. City opened up an emergency operations center. Survey crews are now assessing all of the damage. Crews are out also clearing trees and debris from blocked roadways. The local school district has canceled classes today because of the damage. Well, the Kansas City, Missouri area is also dealing with the aftermath of more storms that swept through the area overnight. Martin Augustine reports.
There is so much damage in this corner of Parkville, it's hard to imagine that the storm actually blew up and was gone in seconds. The wood chippers helping speed up a long cleanup from a storm that lasted maybe 15 seconds, says Kyle Kofer.
Just a loud gust of wind and a crack.
His worst fears coming true when an enormous cottonwood tree in his backyard smashed his home of 21 years in two. He was in the bedroom, his wife the kitchen, his two boys in bed, all unhurt, all scared.
I gave mad big peace. I thought I was dying. I thought I was dead. I'd have nightmares about that tree falling before. And it just, that gust of wind just came out of nowhere.
The chainsaws roaring to life last night almost as soon as the storm moved on. But it wasn't until the sun came up that homeowners such as Heather Solzin truly appreciated the storm's wrath. Her home battered, her husband removing tree limbs thrown down with enough power to puncture the roof in several spots.
We've got a week left of work because we're teachers, so summer project is going to be working on the house.
No fun there. Still ahead, Diamond High School softball tries to advance to the state title game. And Carl Junction and Webb City baseball square off in the district championship. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Trailers, large selection, and great prices. Come see.
Diamond High School softball has been one of the top teams in Class 2 all season, and now is the time to really prove that. The Wildcats are one of the last 4 teams standing at the Missouri Softball Championship site in Springfield. All roads lead to this, the Class 2 Final Four in Springfield. 36-1 Diamond faces 24-6 Willow Springs, and the Wildcats score the first run of the game. Lauren Turner drives in Caitlin Surrey on an RBI single. Diamond trails by 1, but not for long. 5th inning, Sarah Roselle smashes this over the left fielder's head. 2 runs scored. Wildcats lead 4-3. They're far from finished. Caitlin Surrey up later in the inning and skies one to left field. That drops as well. It's now 7-3 Diamond. We're still in the 5th inning. That's when Taylor Reeder comes to the plate, hits a line drive into left field. That keeps the line moving. Turner scores. It's a 9-3 Wildcat lead, and the Wildcats keep bringing batters to the plate. Cabri Parmley gets the final RBI of a 10-run bottom of the 5th inning. Diamond beats Willow Springs 13-3 in the Class 2 semifinals. Wildcats will play in the state championship game tomorrow morning. Their opponent in the championship game is Kennett, who had nearly as good of a win in its semifinal today. Indians beat Lone Jack 11-4. They have a record of 25-8. Meanwhile, Diamond tries to finish its season without a loss to any Missouri teams. First pitch scheduled for tomorrow at 11 a.m. And as the academic year comes to a close, so too does Carl Junction's time in the Central Ozark Conference. Beginning next year, the Bulldogs will play in the Ozark Mountain Conference. Tonight, Bulldog baseball team has one last COC rivalry game. Webb City against Carl Junction in the Class 5 District 7 title game. Cardinals already leading 2-0 in the 3rd inning, and Andrew Young hits a fly ball into center field. That gets over the center fielder's head and rolls all the way to the wall. He legs out a triple and would score later in the inning on a sac fly. Luke Beverlin cruising on the mound for the Cardinals. This is one of his 4 strikeouts on the day, but in the final inning, Beverlin runs into trouble. This single puts runners on 2nd and 1st with the score 3-1. Webb City goes with a pitching change at that point. In comes Brett Korth for Beverlin, needing 2 outs to get the win, and Korth gets a fly ball in the first batter he faces into center. Caught out there, and the Cardinals double up the runner at second base. That ends it. Webb City wins the district championship for the 3rd season in a row. The Cardinals advance to the state quarterfinals.
I knew that he was going to get it done. I had 100% confidence in him. He's been our guy all year. He closes games, and that's just what he does.
I thought it was in the gap, but I looked back, saw Andrew behind it, so it was good, and I looked over, dude was running at 3rd, so it was all going great.
Busy week for baseball and softball at the high school and at the college level. Fort Scott Community College softball, they're in the NJCAA National Tournament, and they win their first game of the tournament today. They beat Brighton Stratton 5-1, so they survive in advance. They play Murray State tomorrow.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be watching that. That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Hundreds of items slashed throughout the
Tuesday remains a alert day as we've got those storms rolling in the afternoon and overnight hours. We'll keep an eye on those storms. Main threat will be strong, damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Storms continue well into the morning hours on Wednesday, and scattered thunderstorm chances continue all the way through the weekend.
All right, we'll be definitely keeping our eye on that alert day for sure. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, Major League Soccer team, the Philadelphia Union, had a pitch invader recently. A rogue raccoon ran onto the field and interrupted the match against the New York City FC. Now, the animal evaded capture for more than 2 minutes and managed to run the length of the pitch before the grounds crew captured him with a trash can. Okay. According to the league, he set a record for the most seconds spent on the field by a raccoon in MLS history. The Union sent out an update saying the raccoon has been released into the wild. As if freedom wasn't reward enough, Topps issued a limited edition trading card of Raquinho the raccoon, I don't know if I said that right, which sold for $9 each. Wow.
That's an expensive trading card, and I'm surprised they also had a record in place for most time spent on the field by a raccoon.
Yeah, like over 2 minutes. That's a long time in soccer too.
I've seen that video too. It was a lot of the security guards and everyone chasing him around for a long time.
And then they finally get him with a trash can.
Yeah.
I feel there's some irony there. All right, so final sports note.
Yeah, Crowder Baseball is another team headed to the Junior College World Series. They've won every game in the month of May so far. So tomorrow morning they're leaving for the World Series in Grand Junction, Colorado. We're going to hear a lot more from the Rough Riders before their World Series games coming up tomorrow.
Where do the Diamond Girls play? They play tomorrow.
They play
too.
back at Springfield again, and they're playing for a state championship. That's at 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, way before the storms come in. So
that's true.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, John. Thank you for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.